And here we go for another episode of All Rell Good on the Crawford Podcasting Network here on April 3rd, 2025 with my good friend Richard Ralford, number 40, out of Riviera Beach, Florida. Suncoast High School, 4-year starter for the Wolverines from 82 to 86, two-time Big Ten champion, and all-time high-wire act. If anybody went to Chrysler, you were the Cohen car. Michigan had Cohen car for Duncan.
Yes.
Michigan had Richard Ralford. I mean, your dunks. How popular were your dunks? I mean, when you're on campus, is that what people talked about?
Yeah, we have people talk about it. The funny thing is, though, listen to my son say that, back in the day, how he would have dunked on me. I have a good time with that. I tell my kid all the time, I would have dunked you in the basket.
No. No, I mean, there's a lot of dunkers. I mean, this Cohen car, speaking of it, this Michigan State standout, and we I know you know who all about him. He's kind of like Brett Petway was at Michigan, but a much more well-rounded player.
Yeah, he is.
But they indicated, this was hard to believe, but there's the standing vertical jump, and then there's this running vertical jump.
Right.
Okay. So did you have a running vertical jump at Michigan or not?
No, we didn't have a running vertical. All my stuff was straight up.
What was it?
My vertical. When I was in high school, it was like 42.
Wow.
When I was in high school.
42.
Yeah, about
42. And you were what, 220 pounds in high school?
230.
230. Wow. That's a lot of freight to move, man.
Listen, but you know what? I always credit it, Tom, to my brother from when I started at 8 years old running miles on a track because he was running, getting ready for the Phoenix Suns. And that's all I did at 8. I didn't know no better. I remember running 3 miles and had no idea after I was done that it was 3 miles.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You are telling me you got your jumping ability from running 3 miles?
That's what I think. And jumping rope. That's all I ever did. Rope. Never lift weights, any of that.
I think it's God's hand over Richard Ralford. It's just some people have it, some people don't.
Well, you know what? I thank God every day for it, man. It was really good, and it got me through a lot of things.
Yeah, I know. Was there anybody else on that team that matched your vertical, or was yours the highest at Michigan?
I think mine might have been the highest. When you talk to any of the guys now, Butch or Gary or Antoine, that's all Gary ever said. That's all he ever talked about, how high I jumped. Yeah. This used to be funny to me because I never even thought about it, to be honest. But it got me to points of being on teams to where I had an advantage.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about your dunks, there were some breakaway dunks, but your most impressive dunks were like on a 3-on-2 pass fast break. You're on the right. You always seem to be on the right wing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked out, but you always did. Because I think you were thinking dunk and coming in on the right side as a right-handed dude.
Yes.
That helps, right?
It helps because, like you said, I'm a right-handed guy. And so a lot of things I did was going to the right. The left hand was surprising to people, but I enjoyed going from the right because it was easier for me.
Yeah. Like the dunk against Indiana.
Yes. I enjoyed that one the most, especially through all the stuff that he took us through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just, disrespecting Frieder and all.
Right.
I mean, I think that motivation of mocking Frieder with a rubbing his head, all that stuff.
Yeah, that did motivate us. And for me to start that game off with a dunk, that solidified what we were going to do for the rest of the game.
I saw that clip. Someone sent me that clip. I mean, you can get this archive stuff. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Off YouTube. Your elbow was in the rim.
Yeah. And that was on the run.
You're on the run.
Yeah.
I don't know who was leading it. Was it Guard Thompson or Gary Grant? Somebody threw you the ball. I'm not sure.
I think it might have been Gary Grant.
Yeah. And wow. Anyway, so let's go back. We're 6 days removed from Michigan's elimination for the season, 27 wins. I go back to how bad they played against Michigan State in early March, and they bounced back. They won the Big Ten title. They won 2 games in the NCAA tournament. They were 9 points ahead of number 1 seed in the country, the Auburn Tigers.
Yes.
I don't know, 12 or 13 to go. How'd you feel at that time, or were you uneasy? Because, quite frankly, I don't think either team was playing very well at that time. How'd you feel?
I felt a little uneasy, but I kept saying to myself, we kept missing a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And so that's what probably made me uneasy. And then having the big guy from Auburn, to me, that was probably Golden's his worst game for me, because we didn't go to him enough, and then he got in foul trouble.
Yep.
And so that hurt us, because I always said to you, he's the key. If we let him do the offense through him, then things become easier. Now, granted, Danny Wolf played great. Danny played great. We just needed other guys to go with him. Our guard play was not very good, because I thought that Trey would have played more motivated since you were playing against your old team.
Well, it could go either way on that. Are you ended up trying too hard?
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know.
Well, he didn't shoot as much as I thought he should have in the beginning. And I think him knowing those guys might have threw him off a little bit, because the whole tournament time he shot well. And then I listened to Charles Barkley say how that was his favorite player.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was
and then I start to say to myself, I hope he don't take that as, pressure, because Barkley said that you were his favorite player. Come on, man, you got to play, especially if you're thinking about going to the next level.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Trey. He's in the portal, and we're talking about the new personnel in a little bit further into the podcast. But did you notice? And I'm doing a complete broad brush exaggeration when I say this, but Trey Donaldson was really good at the start of the game and at the end of the game. In the middle is when he had problems, it seemed to me.
Well, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning and the end, Trey was great. But in the middle, it's like he just kind of took it easy.
Yeah.
And I think kind of trying to let everybody get into the game.
Yeah.
But as a point guard, I understand you're involved in everyone. But at some time in the game, you take it over in the beginning and the end. But the middle is where you have problems. Because the beginning of the second half is when we had problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think about it. I talk about this. The most important part of a basketball, Rick Pitino, everybody talks about this. The last 4 minutes of the first half, that last 4 minute segment of the first half, first 4 of the second half, when you dissect some of these games, that's when things unravel. And that's when Michigan had some bad times, that first 4 minutes of the second half in particular. But you can't, and I've mentioned this, Michigan's up by 9. Actually, Will Chatter hit 2 free throws.
Yes.
Up by 9. They go down, and that Denver Jones hits a 3 right at the top of the key. So it goes from 9-6, and then we go back-to-back turnovers, an empty trip, and then another turnover, and they converted on 2 of the next 3. And just like gone.
Right. They knocked the lead down within 2 minutes.
Yeah. And Kenny Smith talked about that it wasn't that Auburn, what the difference in the game is that Auburn raised their game. Michigan did not raise their game. They both were playing bad. They both ended up with 15 turnovers. But I'm going back to the damn turnover thing, Rich, and I hope Dusty addresses this with his new addition, including that new point guard from North Carolina, is you got to value the basketball. And Barkley talked about this. Clark Kellogg talks about this. You gotta value the orange.
You do.
And when Michigan had 8 unforced turnovers of the 15, and that means turnovers that Auburn had 0 to do with.
Right.
So a classic example, Danny dribbling off his leg. Will Cheddar looking like a 6th grader where the ball went through his hands. And you're dealing with young kids as a coach. I was flabbergasted by some of those moments, weren't you?
I was totally flabbergasted because the one that went through Cheddar's hand, I'm serious. I was looking at the TV like, what were you thinking? You know,
well, where were you at?
Where were you at? Because that was like so obvious that you wasn't paying attention for that ball. Mm-hmm. And I was that to me, you needed to refocus. And I told you, Cheddar is our Kirk Rambis, and they kind of took Cheddar out of it.
They did. He did not have a good game, and this is the nature of college basketball. LJ Cason's great one game, and then he not so significant the other games. And Trey was amazing in the Big Ten tournament.
He was
amazing. I mean, Trey got us out of the first round. Let's be real.
Yes,
Michigan's down 2 to San Diego, and he hits that 3, and the whole place is going crazy. And he just flipped the switch.
Yes.
In that game.
Yes.
And the A&M game, oh my God. Oh, Roddy Gale and we had people stepping up. But overall, and Auburn was a really good team. And I think their butts got lit on fire against Michigan, and they carried over against Michigan State. Michigan State's a very good team, and they beat them relatively handily.
Right.
And they're on to the Final Four, and good for them. But Michigan has nothing to be ashamed of. And I know as a former player, because I know you former players, and I talk to all you guys, it's still your team in your mind.
Yes.
And you take ownership, and you take critiquing measures, and you applaud them, you critique them, you get frustrated with them.
Yes.
But where are you at right now overall? And we'll talk about personnel in a second with this Michigan program under Dusty May moving forward.
I am really excited.
Are you?
Because I believe in Dusty, because I like Dusty's coaching style, because his temperament is the way his team plays.
Yeah.
And that's how his team plays. He's already on the ball with the new guys that he's got coming in. Mm-hmm. The one thing people are telling me in Florida that he's a pretty good recruiter too.
Yeah.
And they're mad that we got him, but I'm not. Yeah. And I'm glad that we re-signed him because Dusty's going to be their future. I think he's going to get a lot of kids because of the way his temperament is and the way he let kids play. He doesn't restrict them. He let them play. And as a high school kid, McDonald's All-American or otherwise, I want my coach to let me play. That's what I want. And that's what I see in Dusty.
Yeah. He's not a quick trigger guy with timeouts. He's not a quick trigger guy in terms of substitution.
Nope.
But I think back to some of his situational substitutions, like with Vlad Golden in both the San Diego game and the A&M game, offensive defense. It was masterful. I mean,
yes, it was great the way he played goal. I agree.
Yeah, and Golden unfortunately did not end up with a good game against Auburn when they needed that. But anyway, super excited. Let's talk about moving forward. Yes. And I'm going to ask you a question. This is going to kind of take you off guard, but I know you bring it with what you feel.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question. I'll give you my answer to this question. That's where I'll allow you to answer the question. Would you rather have Danny Wolf go somewhere else, go overplay and try to go to the NBA, play international, or go to another team, or would you rather have Danny Wolf return next year? If you were the decision maker on that, what would you like to have happen?
Without a doubt, come back.
Really? I knew you.
You know why? You know why? Because I tell people this. It's funny because I just talked to a guy this morning about what you just asked me. The reason I would come back if I'm Danny Wolf is, okay, we have NIL money and we're sure you're going to get some. But it's the facilities at the University of Michigan and all the things we have there. And the love that the alumni and all the students, the love they show you. When you walk around that campus and you guys are playing winning, the students love you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best things. Every restaurant you go into, somebody's going to say something to you positive.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you should come back, because it's different for kids who, when they leave, they have to leave because, say their parents don't have, good jobs, and some don't have jobs, and, some are from tough neighborhoods. Well, we get that. We get why those kids leave. Now, I don't know Danny's status at home or whatever, but I would assume that his family is doing okay.
Yeah, they are. They are. And he's getting some money. I mean, my God. I mean, you're going to get some money playing at that level.
He'll make, when it's time, if he don't go this year, Tom, he'll be in the NBA. I think he'll easily be in the NBA.
So here's where he won some games for Michigan, but he lost some games for Michigan.
Yes, he did. He did.
Okay. And that's what I struggle with. And I don't know what the directional, push was for him to do, what Dusty wanted to handle the ball. But man, I wish he would have handled it more from the wing than from the point.
Yes.
And be a wing, kind of a wing point, kind of forward, that kind of deal.
We call it point forward.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. I can go either way with it. I like the fact this Elliot Cadeau from North Carolina. Now here we go again. This guy turns the ball over, so that's got to be fixed. But his assists are really high too.
Yes. So
his assists and turnovers are. It's not like it's glaring one way negatively from the other. So I mean, he was a 5-star. Averaged 10 points. I mean, that's a good get. You got Elzik Kaysen, Fat Brooks, Oscar Goldman's obviously an incoming guy from New Zealand, supposed to be really good. And then Morris Johnson, this big dude, 6'9", out of Illinois. He tore Michigan up on the boards.
Yes.
Both, that game in Ann Arbor. And then you got Trey McKinney, Mr. Basketball, who looked good in the McDonald's All-American game.
Yes, Trey looked good. I watched the game.
And then Will Cheddar and Roddy Gale Jr. I mean, and then so you got 10 right there. I don't know about Namari Burnett. I love Namari to come back. I think he wants to tinker with the idea of playing international, but I wouldn't. Why not just make money here and enjoy college life, right?
Does he have another year, Burnett?
He's got another year.
I would come back in a heartbeat.
Well, you need to call him up, though.
They need to get somebody let me talk to him because
I mean, you know what? Maybe they do this, maybe they don't. But I think the biggest influencers of some of these players, would be to talk to former players.
Easily, I totally agree with you on that. And, I would let him know from a guy who played in the NBA and played internationally.
Yeah.
International is going to always be there, but you're trying to get into the NBA, you need to stay another year.
Yeah.
Because things change. Like I told you, I would have been worried about Wolf if we had made the Final Four. I would have worried about him leaving. Yeah. Right now, I don't think he should because he's not ready either. Him or Barnett.
I don't think so.
He's not.
I don't think, I look at Danny Wolf's game and I watch a lot of NBA. Well, I especially watch NBA once college is over with.
Mm-hmm.
I watch NBA TV because I have a need for basketball. I love college basketball more than the NBA, but I still appreciate the NBA, and it's great to have the Pistons finally relevant.
Yes, I know.
To be in the playoffs. They're 10 games or 9 games over 500. It's amazing what Bickerstaff has done as the coach. But my point is that I don't see how he could fit in. He's not fast enough off the dribble, and he's not athletic enough to me.
Who's this, Danny?
Yeah.
I just think Danny has to polish his game up more because, see, Tom, one thing I always tell my kids, one thing you can't teach is 7 feet tall. I can't teach you.
I know, you keep saying that, and it's
right.
True.
And to be a 7-footer and to handle the ball and shoot the way he does, he'll get on the NBA team. But this is the difference between, I saw some of the rankings where they had him going into 14th or 20-something in the first round.
Yeah.
Well, why would I go if they got me there? If I stayed another year and have a chance to get into the lottery, into the top 10 picks, I would. It can't be because of the money, because NIL is there for the guys. It can't be about the money. The education, think about it like this. You get to graduate while you're still playing.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it.
And he might already have that done. I know Will Cheddar has it done.
Right. Cheddar has it done. And if you got it done already, come on, man. I'm
go get your go, just go get her master. Just add to it.
Add to it. That's exactly right, because
it's free.
Listen, it's free, and it's the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
That's my, that block M means everything.
I agree.
And I tell people,
I agree totally.
When you choose, just like my good friend Kerry, who went to Marquette, he loves Marquette. He still lives there in the Wisconsin area. And we talk about schools all the time. And when you pick a school, if you don't transfer and go all 4 years, apparently it was pretty good to you.
Yeah.
Because like I tell you, Tom, every time I go back up in Ann Arbor, Lisa and all those guys make me feel like I still play there.
Well, yeah, and part of that, there's and all those ushers come up to me and says, "Is that Richard Ralford?" I mean, I can't. If I had a dime for every time one of those come up to over the buyer box, people come out, that's Richard Ralford. So that's a compliment to you.
Yeah.
But my point is, and this is the last topic, and then we'll return to this next week. But you got Frankie Collins. Frankie Collins started played as a freshman at Michigan, and they got to the Sweet 16. That's when they beat Colorado State and Tennessee. He had a big game against Colorado. So he transfers. So he goes from there to Arizona State that following year. This past year, he's with TCU. Now he's in the portal again. He's going to go 4 for 4 different schools. Now, my question to you is this, okay? Because you're teaching. I'm actually challenging you. As a youth coach, can you convey this message, Rich? Can you tell these young people, when you get to high school, don't just take the easy path. Don't just want to transfer into high school because you don't think you'll start, or go to another college because you don't think you'll start. Just fight for a starting position instead of always going green. Life is greener on the other side. I mean, can you send that message?
Oh, without a doubt, I'll send that message, because I talk to kids now about it. See, first of all, if you keep jumping in the portal, you have no conviction for wherever you are, whatever school you're with. I believe, and I've talked about this with Dennis Hobson, who went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Kids don't stay anymore to fight for a job. They want people to give it to them. No, it doesn't work that way. I can't give it to you. You have to earn it. Yeah. And if you earn it, then you appreciate it more than if they just give it to you. I think when I got to Michigan my freshman year, they told me I had to beat out a senior in order to start.
Who's got to beat out? James Foss?
No, Ike Person.
Ike Person. That's right.
I had to beat out Ike. And I came in with the attitude from day one, I will, because I felt like I was a better athlete and a better player.
Yeah.
And I did. And so that's how you have to do it. The kids don't do it no more. You think because you're a McDonald's All-American that you automatically go in and you start. No, that's not how it works. Yeah. If you go to a school that you choose, you got to go for more than just basketball.
Yeah.
You got to go for education, because the one thing I can tell you, wherever I go in the world, I'm going to see a University of Michigan alumni somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're going to always show me love.
Yeah.
And so I know I picked the right place.
I know you really did. And you really did. And I appreciate that. Well, Rich, for odd time here, but hey, terrific job. I know you got to get back to teaching young people and telling them not to take the easy road.
That's right.
You will this afternoon.
That's right.
Make it, earn it. You got to earn it.
You got to earn it, baby.
Not give it to you. So we'll talk. We're gonna have a Wolverine fellow player with you next week. And so until next time, all Rell Good here on the Crawford Podcasting Network. Great job, Rich.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate you. See you next week.
Yeah.